This is Fox Sports One-on-One.
After my third year, I said, I can't please everybody. I'm just going to please me.
He's as outspoken, honest, and eloquent off the court as he was smart, tough, and unconventional on it.
Charles Barkley, the father, how do you handle her boyfriends?
He asked me if I did anything bad to your daughter, would you kill me? I said, no. I said, one of my friends going to kill you.
Always forthright, he never pulls his punches. Not even for old rival and friend Michael Jordan.
We have a strained relationship. I can't get on television and say he's done a good job as a GM.
It's Charles Barkley, right now on Fox Sports One-on-One. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fox Sports One-on-One. I'm Kurt Menefee. During his Hall of Fame basketball career, Charles Barkley didn't shy away from controversy. He still doesn't. Refreshingly candid and opinionated, Sir Charles is one of the most engaging voices in all of sports. One that still maintains a disdain for the politically correct that goes well beyond the hardwood floor. Now, our Chris Myers sits down with the one and only Charles Barkley.
I've known Charles Barkley for more years than either of us would care to remember. And like his hero, Muhammad Ali, Charles has always refused to let public perception define him. As a player, as a broadcaster, a person, he believes strongly that he must be true to himself above all else, which for me makes him one of the most fascinating people I've ever interviewed. First, good to see you.
Thank you very much. Always.
You look good. You losing weight? How's that going, the weight back?
It's going well. I'm down about 70 pounds. Okay. It's going really well. I joke with my friends. You know, Weight Watchers has been a godsend to me. But I joke with my friends. I said, I'm about $3 million away from being anorexic. You know, I says, keep paying me, I'm going to keep losing.
Charles Barkley at age 50.
Yeah.
What's that been like? What's that sound like to you?
I was really concerned, to be honest with you, because, you know, at 30, you know, you notice a change in your body as a player. Right. At 40, you're done. And then at 50, you're like, I'm an old person now. I used to always tell people, I used to make fun of old people. Now I'm one of them. It's not near as fun as it used to be.
But how old do you feel?
Mentally, I feel great because I feel like I've had a good life. If I drop dead tomorrow, hopefully, knock on wood, that don't happen. Right. But I feel like if you get to 50, I always tell people, if you ever did anything good or accomplished anything at 50, you're not going to accomplish it. It's too late for that.
Well, you've done a lot of things, but Charles Barkley, the father, you have a daughter who's in her 20s.
You know, my daughter is an amazing kid, and it's very difficult when you grow up in the limelight and your parents have a lot of money. You just want your kid to be a good person.
And to hear about normal, right?
Just normal. You know, you just like, I don't want her to be an I don't want her to be spoiled. Right. I grew up poor, so you don't have to worry about that.
Right.
Yeah. When you're in the projects and on welfare, you know you don't get spoiled.
Well, how do you handle her boyfriends?
Well, as I told one of them, he asked me one time, he said, if I did anything bad to your daughter, would you kill me? I said, no. I said, one of my friends going to kill you. And
you probably said it with a straight face, just like you did.
Well, first of all, I meant it.
You know, listen, but I know where you're coming from.
But that's why I'm gonna have my friend do it. Okay. But I'm happy with her as a person, and I hope that I get to way down the line be a grandfather at some point.
Although Charles Barkley is looking forward to being a grandfather one day, that doesn't mean his opinions are about to mellow anytime soon. They remain as forthright as ever, even when it comes to the player he considers the greatest of all time. I did want to talk about Michael Jordan. Sure. He's still a buddy of yours, right?
We have a strained relationship.
Why is that?
Listen, I love Michael. He's been one of my best friends forever. And I hope we can work through it. But our relationship is strained because I said some things about him as a general manager in the last couple of years.
They weren't complimentary.
Well, Chris, I can't get on television and say he's done a good job as a GM. Right. I think that one of the things that people respect about me, whether they like it or not, is I don't have a double standard. Right. Michael has not done a good job as a GM.
And did you try to talk to him to say, hey?
It's just not working out the way I would like for it to, but I have to live with that.
Charles Barkley is a larger-than-life personality who holds strong opinions on topics far beyond the three-point line. Stick around for Chris and Sir Charles talking social issues, social media, and much more. Coming up next.
Every player has played with a gay player. First of all, George Zimmerman was wrong. I'm pro-black, but I'm so upset how black people treat each other.
Nothing is off limits when Fox Sports One-on-One continues.
Yao Ming gets 19 points in the game this year. I'm gonna kiss his right here.
If you're gonna kiss my I went out and bought it. He kissed it! Yes! Yes!
Welcome back to Fox Sports One-on-One. Along with being the 1993 NBA MVP, Charles Barkley is also an Emmy Award-winning broadcaster. He's a man of many facets and interests, and he's not afraid to address hot-button subjects that transcend the sports pages, such as race, education, and gay rights.
Jason Collins
Yes.
came out and said he was gay as a current active professional athlete. Did you think there'd be more players that are currently playing in the NBA or other sports that would come out?
I was hoping, and as I've always said, every player has played with a gay player. If a guy comes to me and say, "Hey, I'm gay," dude, you're my teammate. We're gonna support you no matter what. First of all, I'm black. I always want to be inclusive. I can't say it's happened a lot in my lifetime, but I can imagine what it was like for those older black guys to be excluded back in the day. It had to be horrible. So the one thing Bill Russell, who's one of my mentors, told me, we as black players, we should always be inclusive, because when you exclude it, it's a horrible feeling.
When you talk about things that are either race-related, political, religion, and you're honest about it, you commented like everybody had an opinion on the George Zimmerman verdict. Sure. And I saw some harsh criticism.
What I said was, first of all, George Zimmerman was wrong. He was wrong. But as far as the jury verdict, I had no problem with the verdict. But, Chris, I'm glad you brought that up because, we as black people, we were marching around talking about no justice, no peace, which is ridiculous. And then you look how those young black kids killed that white kid in Oklahoma. But we as black people, we're so upset at George Zimmerman. And I'm not condoning what George Zimmerman did. He was wrong, but you just look at the evidence. But we as black people, our priorities are so misplaced. I don't see Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. First of all, we kill each other, black kids, every day. And I don't see this moral outrage. But because it was such a racial issue and all these clowns, and I call them clowns, want to get on television and act like they are so pro-black. I'm pro-black, but I'm so upset how black people treat each other. And I have a higher standard for black people. I heard, just for the record, I heard that some people were going crazy about what I said about the jury, the Zimmerman verdict. But I don't tweet.
Okay.
I don't read blogs and all that other crap. I don't sit around and worry about what other people think about me. My friends said, "Dude, you read?" I do. That's why I don't read that crap. Because the one thing you cannot do is live your life worrying about what other people think about you. There's so much negativity out there. And the one thing about our business, when we travel, I have to pick a team.
Right.
One city loves me. The other cities call me every name in the book. And some of the fans like, dude, I don't care who wins. That's the one thing I think the fans never understand about people who in our position.
We root for a good game, good series.
Yes, because we just want ratings.
Yes.
We want a good series. We don't care who wins.
Right.
The only thing we root for, we want to go to good cities with good restaurants. I mean, that's the only thing we might root for. I always want to go to Chicago because they got great restaurants. I always love going to L.A. You can't ever go wrong going to Miami or Philadelphia. Right. But we never really care who wins. And fans, when you pick against their team or say something about their favorite player,
right.
But I refuse to tweet and listen to that crap.
140 characters is far too limiting for a man who refuses to be restricted by convention. And asking for one-word answers is even more futile. A lesson we quickly learned when trying to put Charles on the spot about a gallery of NBA legends. Give me your quick, honest, one-word reaction to these photos here. There's
The only player I ever played against that I thought was actually better than me, Michael Jordan. I really.
Best player you ever saw?
The best player I ever saw, but the only player in my life I ever said, that guy's better than me.
All right.
Larry Bird, just a great guy and a great player. And Dr. J, a mentor.
That's right.
He's a mentor.
He was going out, you were coming in Philly.
The Phoenix Suns, the best year of my life.
Really? Overall,
out of all the years,
going to the
playing
final.
on that team was amazing. Magic Johnson, obviously is a great player. He's been a mentor for me as far as business. What he's done for the inner cities around the country is amazing because it ain't about winning championships and making a lot of money. If you don't influence people, Magic has used his gift to enhance other people's lives. That's what I hope to do.
Still to come when Fox Sports One-on-One with Charles Barkley continues.
What about the other 99% of young black kids who never gonna play in the NBA? We got to make sure they get their education.
Sir Charles looks at the big picture. You're watching Fox Sports One-on-One with Charles Barkley.
All right, guys, what do y'all want today? People are stupid.
Backdoor, the lob for Charles, and he pounded that baby.
Opinions are like everybody has one. Some of them stink, some of them don't.
Into the lane.
You really think I give a flying what the people on the radio call say?
Blocked by Barkley. Charles with Canada.
Thank you.
Are you surprised that people react so much to what you have to say about things? It really is off the charts, whether it's about sports or beyond.
That was the hardest thing for me when I first started. This is when I'm still playing. Like, I would say something very simple, and people would start writing letters and call into the team saying stuff, and it took me, I think after my third year, I said, oh, I can't please everybody. I'm just gonna please me. I'm gonna say what I think and what I feel, and I'm not gonna worry about the negativity. And after that third year, I've been the same since. I'm gonna give my honest, fair, balanced opinion. Some people gonna like it and some people not. You know, somebody asked me the other day, do I look at myself as media? I says yes and no. What I mean by no is, I do have sympathy for the players. I think it's hard for some media types to have sympathy for the players because they've never been in their shoes.
Especially today's world where everything is captured, quoted, texted, tweeted.
One of the things I don't like about the media is they have guys they like, guys they dislike. I don't.
Isn't that human nature, though? We have
But that's not fair because when people hear stuff on the radio or on television, they think, well, it's got to be true. The guy said it on TV and radio. And the thing I tell people is, dude, it's just a guy giving his opinion. It doesn't make you or break you.
But what about when you say things that are beyond sports? And that's what I'm fascinated by, that for years, and I've always enjoyed asking you and been interested in your honest opinion. But what's the worst backlash you've had from something you've said?
The role model thing was probably the biggest backlash I got, but that was important and significant because that's the best thing that I've probably ever done in my life.
I am not a role model. I'm not paid to be a role model. Parents should be role models. Just because I dunk a basketball doesn't mean I should raise your kids.
I think it's important that you got a bunch of kids out there who don't understand the big picture. And the truth of the matter, most of them are black kids. They're not gonna play pro sports, and they're not getting their education. And it was frustrating to me. You know, I do a lot of speaking, and every black kid thinks they're gonna play pro sports. They're not going to play pro sports.
Don't white kids?
No, white kids, in fairness, they do better academically. I think, I do this like unscientific thing. When I go speak, let's just say I go speak to a class. Let's just say that half the kids are black, half the kids are white. And I do this unscientific thing, and I study it. I said, well, how many of y'all want to play sports for a living? Probably 95% of the kids who are black raise their hand. But only like 10% of the white kids raise their hands. So then I started asking them questions. I said, what do you want to do? The white kids said, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be an engineer, teacher, fireman, policeman, things like that. And we've got to get, we, I'm not stuttering, that's the way I talk. We, it's
meaning?
like black people We've got to do a better job academically.
Okay.
I hear these guys arguing all the time about who can go pro and things like who should get paid. I said, that's not the issue. That's not the issue. I'm not going to sit here whether we can keep LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and Kevin Garnett in high school or go to college for 1 year. What about the other 99% of young black kids who never gonna play in the NBA? We got to make sure they get their education. There is a bigger picture out there.
Not one to hold back on any topic, Charles Barkley has strong opinions on the state of the NBA. Stick around for Chris and Sir Charles on the court of King James. Next up, who is basketball's best player?
He's won 2 championships, and everybody's like, he's better than Michael Jordan. I said, what happened to Kobe Bryant?
Charles Barkley on LeBron, Kobe, and many more as Fox Sports One-on-One continues. Engaging, unapologetic, and always willing to speak his mind. Charles Barkley has been candid about his relationship with Michael Jordan, turning 50, and his thoughts on being a role model. But he's not finished yet. Ever ready to offer his unique perspective on today's NBA. And always staying true to himself.
I want to talk a little bit about the NBA. And if all things were equal here, Jordan, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, you rank them all time.
Jordan,
Right.
Kobe, and LeBron. And, you know, it's interesting. Obviously, LeBron is amazing. He's amazing. But he's won 2 championships, and everybody's like, he's better than Michael Jordan. I said, what happened to Kobe Bryant? Kobe Bryant still got 5 championships. And LeBron, to me, if he gets 5 or 6 rings, would be the closest I've ever came to saying somebody was as good as Michael Jordan.
He's going to be a free agent. Do you have an early projection of where?
I do not know. I hope he goes back to Cleveland.
Really? That's
with
what
some,
you
with
would
some real fans.
You'd want him to go
Those
back to?
fans in Miami are faker than a $3 bill. They are. You know, they're not real fans.
Well, fans, when teams win, they support, they rally. LeBron comes to town.
Let me tell you something. The Cleveland Browns fans go to their games no matter what.
Okay.
The Chicago Cubs fans
Yeah,
go
right.
to their games no matter what.
Those teams have
the
a bond.
Sacramento Kings, you know, they've always had great fans. The team suck now, but they always had great fans.
What about Kobe Bryant? You think he stays a Laker?
Well, let me just say this. With or without Kobe Bryant, the Lakers going to stink.
Hey, you're smiling while you say that.
No, because, listen, I love Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant's one of the 10 greatest basketball players ever. The Lakers going to stink with or without him, period. But it's funny, like, we don't even talk about the other teams. It's like, we have to talk about the Lakers. We have to talk about the Yankees.
The Cowboys.
The Cowboys.
But those are popular teams.
Yeah, but listen, those teams aren't any good. We need to talk about the teams that are doing well.
If you were starting an NBA team now and you were in charge, what would be your blueprint for building that team?
Well, I always think you should build through the draft.
Still,
You always build through the draft. I would do it like the Spurs did.
not how Miami did it.
I know. But the problem with that, Chris, is unless you're at, quote unquote, a glamour city, you're not going to be able to get those guys. Guys aren't going to be lining up to say, I want to go to Phoenix or Sacramento or Indiana. I think you have to do it the way Oklahoma City and the Spurs do it. You have to put a great staff together and draft well.
David Stern, 30 years on the job as NBA commissioner, will be
Yeah.
stepping aside after this season. In your mind, what is his legacy? What
The greatest commissioner in sports history.
really?
Yeah, easily. Because, you know, people forget, you know, me and David Stern came in the same year. And the NBA, the average salary was $200,000.
I think the finals weren't even live.
They were not. They were tape delayed. They were tape delayed. And now, the average salary is $5.5 million. That's amazing.
Yeah.
He put us in the Olympics and made it an international game. We play games in foreign countries. We're broadcast. I think I saw it last year. The finals were broadcast in 200 countries.
Right. You've met a lot of famous people, successful people. Is there anybody that you met that, well, you just said, wow, I can't believe you were really excited when you met that person?
First time I met Muhammad Ali, it was the greatest day of my life. Ali's my personal hero. He's amazing. And, you know, I've just met it's been an amazing life. Like every now and then I'll sit around and say, wow,
Yeah.
Little fat kid from Leeds, Alabama did pretty good, because I've exceeded all my expectations. When you're growing up in the projects and your mom is a maid and your grandmother's cut meat in a meat factory, you're not thinking about like, wow, I'm going to be first of all, play in the NBA.
Right.
You're not thinking you're going to go to the Olympics twice. You don't think you're going to go into television. And I'm getting to the point now where I'm getting ready to retire.
Really?
I got a couple years left on my contract.
Okay.
It'll be 17 years in television, and that'll be longer than I played in the NBA. And I think that'll be enough for me, to be honest with you. And it's been a crazy, amazing ride.
All right, I always enjoy talking to you. All right,
I look
stay
forward
well.
to always, my brother. Continued success.
Enjoying an amazing ride, an admirer of David Stern, and never afraid to offer his honest opinion. Simply put, that's Charles Barkley, one-on-one. I'm Kurt Menefee. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Fox Sports One-on-One. Join us on Tuesday, November 5th, when Aaron Andrews sits down with a man called the most powerful coach in sports, Nick Saban.
What's harder to win, the national title or an SEC title?
When you play in the SEC, you're going to play 4 or 5 teams that are probably going to be in the top 10, maybe more.
For all your highlights, interviews, and analysis, tune to Fox Sports Live every night at 11 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1.